lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for sure.
He sure did.
Jeffrey Epstein.
All right, so before we get into this, I'm just going to give you guys a warning. I don't know if they'll let me stay on. I'm on Rumble and X right now. This is probably arguably the biggest story in news right now, even more so than Doge. Mods, SV is back tonight. Stay on your toes, because I think there's going to be a lot of trolls up in here tonight. So, in case you haven't noticed, or maybe you've been under a rock for a few hours, everything blew up earlier this afternoon about the files. And I'm talking about the Epstein files. A lot of stuff blew up. So we're going to cover what happened. We're going to cover where we are. I'm going to show you Pam Bondi has officially released more than what she had released earlier. And everything is breaking loose. And so I don't know where things are headed. SV is going to be hitting me up with breaking news as he sees it at 7:30. Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen, he's going to be on here live. And I we had a show plan where we were going to talk about polls and things of that nature. I'm not sure where we go at 7:30. But without further ado, let's listen into a couple things that happened this afternoon.
Files, we're told, are to be imminently unleashed. And already we saw the Attorney General Pam Bondi say that the scale of what happened is far worse than anyone realized. Well over 200, maybe 250 victims, and that we're going to get information either later today or tomorrow from these files. What can you tell me about that?
I believe it will be today. I was just I saw Pam and Kash in the White House just before coming on your show. And I can tell you that I haven't been privy to it yet, but I know it is coming out. They will be taking portions of it. We have to be patient. And I said this last night at a dinner with some media. And I said, I think America needs to remember one thing. We are going to be promises made, promises kept. But when you're dealing with victims, and by the way, this is a perfect example of a case that was vetted, that went through trial, that had testimony, and was prosecuted the right way. I don't preemptively attack. That's just not the way I operate. But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway. We don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Kash and Pam, there will be accountability.
And we know that only one person so far has actually gone to prison over that whole scandal. It was Ghislaine Maxwell, the former lover of Jeffrey Epstein. No man so far has actually been put in prison as a result of what happened. Do you think by releasing information from these files, we are likely to see criminal actions being taken?
Absolutely.
Really?
I think it would be negligent for us not to. You have to hold individuals who are indeed rapists accountable. We have to have them tried, in my opinion. And I do believe in that.
So what you need to do, as we're talking about this, is two things. Don't get mad at Pam Bondi. Don't get mad at Kash Patel. Pray, because you're going to need some counsel. You're going to need some guidance. You're going to need some intervention as what begins to transpire. And secondly, as pissed off as he looked this afternoon, have faith in Donald Trump. At this point, he knows the gloves are off. There can be no more question. I have said it over and over. We are in the midst of a civil war. You may not understand it. It may be beyond you, but we are definitely facing a force that is quite formidable and that they want to take America down. They will do anything not to have this information go public for whatever reason. Like Piers Morgan said, nobody, not a single man or woman, nobody has been even charged on the other side of the crime. How this woman is in jail unless she just pled it out, I have no idea. I don't know how you can be in jail for doing procurement without the other side having someone who accepted the procurer, the procuree. She's a dealer with no customer, and she's in jail. And everybody in the media has been 100% fine with it. They don't even want to talk about it. It's over. He's gone. End of story. And then the rest of us are sitting back going, what in the hell are you talking about? On its face, it is ludicrous. And I want you to understand, to me, this is politically agnostic. I don't care whether it's a Republican or a Democrat. If they find out that you were involved in doing something with kids, you need to go down. And now what we're seeing is a mutiny of sorts, where the Southern District of New York and the FBI have decided they're going to give Pam Bondi and Kash Patel the Heisman. We're not going to give you anything. Those of you who have been in military or law enforcement, tell everybody in the chat what it means when you are given a direct order and you tell your supervisor, the head of your company, to go flip off. This is not something to play lightly with. This isn't, as Dan used to say, cutesy time. This is way past cutesy time. This is a insurrection of epic proportions. You have people back there somewhere in the dark, in the shadows, who are right now openly defying the President of the United States. It's bad.
We're told this morning, given this binder, which has absolutely nothing in it, and they were told that by Pam Bondi and the president that she had, because the president asked, ordered for the release of this. Kash Patel delivered it to her desk last week. They were going through it. They expected this to be full of everything that Kash Patel has told me he has seen in the past, but there was nothing. There was nothing left in it. And Liz reports that she was told that...
He's referring to Liz Wheeler, which I'm going to show you some information on.
The feeling from Pam Bondi and others is that the Southern District of New York, the FBI in the Southern District of New York, actually has the tapes and everything else and will not turn it over to the White House or to Pam Bondi. If that is true, and I understand Liz correctly, and Liz is going to be on my radio program tomorrow and my podcast tomorrow to talk about her experience. If that indeed is true, then we have a civil war on our hands.
I'm sorry. Did Glenn Beck just say, if that's true, we have a civil war on our hands? Are people actually ready to start looking at this and saying, we got a civil war? You see, I say it and people are like, Barry, you're being hyperbolic. You're being overly dramatic. I understand at this point that armed people who are supposed to answer to Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and the president today decided no. What do you mean, no? That shouldn't even come out of your mouth. That tells me there's a whole group of people who are now deciding they don't want to comply with orders. I saw someone in the chat here and said, hey, who's they? We don't know. But there's a they there because otherwise you would just give up the files. Everybody has always talked about the mythical deep state. Now you're finding out it's not that mythical. It's not that mythical. If you open your eyes and see what has been happening and you see what's going on in the media, it's not hard to understand when you put these breadcrumbs together that we are in the midst, no doubt, of a civil war. You're looking for muskets. You're looking for tanks. You're looking for things. This is 2025. Things are much different now. You don't need to do those kind of things. We know we've been in one because you lived through it. Unless you forget what happened a few years ago when you couldn't go to church and you couldn't go see your loved ones in the hospital and they were forcing you to take something that often, if you don't take it, you'll lose your job. How authoritarian was that? And those same people who came up and hatched that scheme, those they, are now telling the President of the United States, you're on a need-to-know basis and you don't need to know.
An internal civil war. You have a duly elected president, his duly elected confirmed leaders of the FBI and the Department of Justice, and then you have the Southern District of New York FBI and Department of Justice bucking the orders of the president and their direct bosses. There is no other way to describe it. If that is true, there is no other way to describe it than you have a department, or two departments under the president that are in complete rebellion. And that would have to be, that's not something you take a Doge scalpel to. That's something you take an axe to and you cut it out, because that's a cancer, and it is a rebellious cancer, and honestly, a civil war against the...
I want you to think something else. This is what's been discovered thus far. And you're seeing pockets of this all over the place. What pockets? Well, you've seen these crazy judges completely just ignoring law and doing what they want. You heard about people in the CIA who are shredding documents, threatening to sell them. You've heard about people in the NSA having weird chat room stuff going on. You've heard about people in the military who are complaining and fighting back against Pete Hegseth. If you look at the lay of the land, it is happening. They don't want what is coming. We always say you can't stop what is coming. They're going to try. Because whatever it is that they're hiding, whether it's money, whether it's the crazy stuff with the kids, whatever it is, they can't have it exposed. How bad must it really be? Think about that. How bad must this Diddy and Epstein information be that people are willing to put their lives on the line? You just don't go and tell the Attorney General and the President, in essence, no, I'm not doing it. Well, of course you're going to lose your job, but you're also going to probably lose your freedom. Why? And I'll just leave that question with you. Why would you do that? Who is telling you to die on that hill? And so many, and it's not a few people, it's a whole lot of people. Everybody in the mainstream media, they're willing to die on this hill. Why? Why is it so important for you to protect people who hurt kids. Why is it so hard for you to make these people see justice? Who are you protecting? And if you ask those questions, then it starts sinking in like, oh yeah, it's been years, it's ongoing, and now it's reaching a crescendo. Something is going to break. You've got to the point now where you're openly defying orders from the president. There's not much left for you to defy. There's not much left to do other than, you know what? So, this isn't like ignoring a subpoena from a court. This isn't, ignoring a contempt order. This is ignoring the President of the United States giving you a direct order. The Attorney General saying, do this. No. And then lying to her. Wow.
President and his duly processed appointees. This is not what I expected from Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and the president and the vice president, and I take them at this point at their word because I know them. I know how serious each of them are about rooting out this cancer. But this looks really, really horrible for the president because what others will say is, well, this is just the same old stuff, and names of people that they were friends of were on, and so they had to blame it on somebody else. Well, I just don't believe that of the president and Kash and Pam. I know the passionate response in private about these names and about this list, and how Kash in particular couldn't wait to release this. He is a dog with a bone. He is on a mission, and so is the president, and I believe Pam Bondi is too, on a mission to rat this evil out. If it's true, we're in civil war. The state is at civil war with itself. If it's not true, then we will see this administration not move against the Southern District of New York. If I were President Trump, and I got to give him the benefit of the doubt here because I think this is, giving him the benefit of the doubt, he is focused on Russia and everything else. But if I were Donald Trump, and no matter what I had planned, if I had an agency in rebellion, I would get on my plane and I would fly to New York and I would personally fire every single person, and I'd put a padlock on that door in Southern District of New York. That's what the president, I believe, should do if I understand what Liz is saying is correct, and if it is indeed true.
Hey, I'm in the
All right, so what you have right now, it's funny, I'm looking at people in the chat, and some people just don't get it. They're either trolls or don't want to see what's right in front of them. People say, oh, Glenn Beck's he's another drama queen. I'm like, there's no helping people who won't see information directly in front of them. I pray for you if you're just going, nah, this doesn't, none of this is big deal, nothing. Good. Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of the show if you'd like to stay. Ignore what we're going to show you and live a very, very happy life. That's what I wish for you. The rest of you, if you want to start digging and looking at and finding out what's going on, I would follow somebody like Liz Wheeler. Liz Wheeler has been exposing a lot of this stuff. She's not as bombastic as Laura Loomer, and she's been basically showing people, here, look, do it yourself, look at the information. There are too many people, even in this chat, who just don't want to believe what they're seeing. I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. if you just want to go ahead and take that take that blue pill and go back to sleep and go watch, old Golden Girls episodes, then go for it. Nobody is going to say anything to you in a bad way. Just go ahead and do it. However, if you're willing to see the atrocities of what has happened in this country, then you need to take that red pill. You need to open your eyes and see what's happening and understand the severity of everything going on right now. I can't do it for you. Nobody can do it for you. So, blue pill, have a good night. Golden Girls are probably on some station. Red pill, you find out where this thing is going.
But I wanted to jump on here because this stuff is blowing up as it should be, and I wanted to open the Epstein files binder and show you what's in it, because this whole exercise is about transparency, and I wanted to address some of your concerns, but I want to start with what happened this morning. So this morning I was at the White House meeting with President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance and Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel, and they presented us with, let me show you. They presented us with a couple of things that I want to show you, and you'll have to forgive the background. We are right now in the airport, and they presented us with this binder. Now, this is the binder that I posted a picture of. You saw that. Millions of people saw that. It says on the front, the Epstein Files Phase 1 by order of Attorney General Pamela Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel, the most transparent administration in history, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Now, what's interesting is we're all waiting for bombshells, we're all waiting for juicy stuff, and that's not what's in this binder. That's not what's in this binder at all. And that's exactly how the Attorney General presented it to us. She handed us this binder and she said, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, has given me an order to declassify the Epstein files, and I have been quickly working on doing just that because we want to be the most transparent.
Now, I just want to stop there for a second because I wanted you to see the chain of command. Chain of command. The President of the United States has ordered the Attorney General to do this. And then it goes down from there. And people need to, understand the chain of command. And I know so many of you, because I'm looking in the chat and people are like, I'll believe it when people are in handcuffs. What is it you're looking to believe when people are in handcuffs? The first thing we need to do is open people's eyes that an immense crime has taken place. These people should be shamed, whoever they are, to never be able to walk the streets again. I'm not going to try and convince you except to say one thing. Your wife, your daughter, your granddaughter was shipped around like a product for years. And all she wanted, and all you wanted, was for people to listen. There are some of these victims who are like, I just want people to understand what I went through. I mean, think about that for a second. This isn't something that happened yesterday. This has been going on probably in excess of 10 years or so. And you're a little girl who's now grown into a young woman, and people don't even want to pay any attention to you. They're not on CNN. They're not on MSNBC. They're not on CBS. They're giving nothing, no exposure. Go back and crawl back under the rock. You're used up. We don't need you anymore. Stop trying to hurt people's feelings. To me, I don't know, maybe because I'm a dad and a grandfather and a husband and a brother, and I'm thinking to myself, why can't people see this? It is the darkest of dark. The most vulnerable and innocent among us have been utterly destroyed. And there's so many people in this country like, yeah, but, I didn't see it. I don't think it happens. Oh, it's not that big of a deal.
administration in history. We know that as of a week ago, she went on, I believe it was Fox News, and said that she had the Epstein files on her desk. And when I think it was Jesse Waters asked her, well, is there anything, have you found anything juicy yet? She said, not yet. So her message to me when she handed me this binder was, we expected to release bombshells. We expected to find the dark stuff, the dirty stuff, the names of the people that were involved in what Epstein was doing. And when these files were put on my desk, and she was relating how she looked through them. She was relating how she looked through them. She said it wasn't what I was expecting, and I said, "Is this it? Is this it?" And she said, something is not right here. Now, just because she had that feeling, she still wanted to not only fulfill the president's order to release these, she wanted to do it in a timely manner. And so they prepared this binder. They were going to release what's in this binder, and I'll show you what's in it. It's also going to be available online here shortly, so that all of us can go through it. And we're going to talk about, too, how this has bypassed the legacy media, and how this is the Trump administration is harnessing new media to release this sort of exclusive, which is a good...
Okay, so that's really important as well, too, right there. You're not going to see this story, I doubt, on any of the stations, other than maybe to ridicule Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. They are going to try and avoid this like the plague, which means you should be paying extreme attention to it, because they're not going to want to talk about it. And then again, as I've been saying, you need to ask yourself why.
But late last night, after Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel prepared this binder, the Epstein files, a source called Attorney General Pam Bondi, a source from within the FBI, from within the Southern District of New York. And this source told Pam Bondi that even though she had been told that this was the extent of the Epstein files, it's not the extent of the Epstein files, that there were hundreds, if not thousands, of other documents and files and pieces of evidence that...
Now, there's the big difference. See, this afternoon, everybody was all aflutter because... I just turned down slow mode. Everybody was all aflutter because, Pam Bondi lied and this and that and the other thing. Well, then, after that show, a call comes out and says, by the way, psst, there's a whole lot more. They're hiding stuff from you. Now, you can say to yourself, why doesn't she know that? Why didn't Kash know that? That's a whole different conversation. She's going to have to she is going to have to come out and address that. Why did you not know there was going to be obviously more than 200 pages? A 10-year wreaking of havoc, and you got 200 pages and you thought that was it? Yeah, she's going to have to answer that. I'm going to give her the time to do so, though. I mean, it's possible that she saw the 200 pages and was trying to sniff out where the rest of the files were. I don't know. I'm not going to convict her. She's a bright woman. I've known how she works down here in Florida for quite some time. So I can't tell you why she needed someone to whisper in her ear. Nonetheless, somebody whispered in her ear and said, there's a whole lot more. And that's how things started exploding.
SDNY, the most corrupt district in the United States, was hiding. They were hiding from President Trump. They were hiding from Vice President Vance. They were hiding from Attorney General Pam Bondi. They were hiding from FBI Director Kash Patel. They were hiding from you. And so you should... Is it? Okay, I apologize that it's buffering so badly. Guys, I know that's really frustrating. We are sitting...
All right, so that was Liz Wheeler. You can go ahead and follow her. I just want to show you one thing, jump ahead, because some of you guys may want to see this and you'll dig while I'm talking to Mark Mitchell, because we were supposed to talk about polls and stuff, but and nonetheless, we've got this for you. Here we go. Posted by Pam Bondi. If you go to this link right here, it's on my page, but if you also go in here, excuse me, here is the entire file as she has it right now. An evidence list, these are all PDF files. An evidence list, flight logs versus Maxwell, part 1, point 2, 6 different parts for this. A contact book redacted, a masseuse list redacted. And before you get in here, let me just tell you, you're going to look in here and you're going to say, there's a whole lot of stuff in here that's redacted. Yes, but at the same time, there's a whole lot of names, as you can see. So I don't know what these names mean. I don't know who these people are, but you're going to see a whole bunch of names. I see one right there. You guys recognize that name. That's Alec Baldwin. Does it mean he did anything? No. Doesn't mean that at all. But now people are going to have to start digging. Like, okay, what's under the black box there? What's redacted? Where are we going with this? I wanted to show you this thing, and I'll get with Mark in 1 second. Mark, I see you sitting there. This is absolutely phenomenal, and I didn't have time to go through it because, oh my gosh. So you guys know yesterday I talked about the Data Republican. Well, she has put together something that's absolutely crazy. Where is it here? She didn't take it down, did she? All right, here it is. This one here. This is going to take you getting a coffee and a muffin and a donut and turning off the TV and actually digging. Preview. The People Search Prototype, exploring connections like never before. We're giving you a first look at our people relations mapping network with Jeffrey Epstein as the anchor code. And guess what? Each of those connections then has their own graphs as well. Don't worry how ugly it is right now. They're going to make a prettier graph and everything. But she has graphed out all these different, interrelating things. Look at it. And what you're going to hear tomorrow, I'm telling you right now, what you're going to hear is when you zoom in on this and you start looking at it, there's a name in here that people, let's see if I can download the SVG. All right. Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what he did. And there's all kinds of names on here. Well, what you're going to hear in the news, because when you scroll over here, you guys can see this. Let me see if I can go further. Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, yada, yada, yada. And then you're going to see, I thought I saw it earlier, Andrew Cuomo, Don Johnson, and then there's Donald Trump. They're going to tell you he's on the list, but they're not going to tell you how the hyperlink happened. This one here just tells you who he is and that he's on some sort of connectivity. You've got to leap back to figure out what it is he's connected to. So these are just people, in different things. Okay, host during Epstein's visit to Cuba, competing bidder. I mean, it's a data buffet. And you're going to have to sink your teeth into it and understand what you're seeing, because over the next few days, you are going to see a deluge of information. I mean, Mark Mitchell is into data. Maybe he can tell us, man, how are you going to dig into all this? But I'll get back to this in a little bit, because there's just so much in here, and it's scary. I'm not a data person, so I figured, we were going to have Mark on here tonight, so we like, hey Mark, how you doing? Anything going on?
Well, yeah, there's a little bit, just a tad, just a little bit going on.
Oh my gosh, I'm like,
I spend like 12 hours a day on Twitter now. It's brutal.
So I was going to talk to you about, we can get to it, the polls and what I think is a new narrative for the Democrats, but what do you make of all this and all this data, and you being a data person, and like that chart I just showed you? How are they going to do this? And someone like you, would you be digging into something like this?
Yeah, I love alternative data for sure. All of the stuff that Data Republican's uncovering has been really fascinating from my perspective, because it's explained a lot of the stuff we saw in the fall that you and I talked about. Like, why are they doing that? Why are the numbers too far left? Well, it's like some of those people are literally on the USAID payroll. And not only that, like people who have attacked Rasmussen reports.
Yeah.
news organizations have come out and written hit pieces about us. Politico wrote a hit piece about us like pretty much the same year that their massive overpriced subscription business picked up. Mm-hmm. It's really weird, like how that happened. And luckily, a lot of our, the people that hate us are kind of going out of business and being fired. Like Joy Reid attacked us. Poof, gone. It's nice to see. Washington Post looks like they're going to have a massacre in their op-ed. They've sicked Philip Bump on us. But these tools, I think, are going to be useful probably in combination with other stuff. And so it's like, well, let's use it as a way to dig and compare it to other things. I saw some names on there that I thought were interesting, like Michael Wolff, the journalist who wrote a book. Right. He actually just put a book out that has a 2-paragraph preview that literally slanders Rasmussen reports in the preview of the book. It's like incredible. So, the real data, like my data polling, I can tell you that I think people are really happy right now. We have the highest right track that we've ever had in our polling history in 19 years of data. Mm-hmm. And so the narrative is that there's all this crazy chaos. There's all this stuff that Trump's doing, and it's not what voters wanted, and he didn't have a mandate. And in reality, it's like, no, a measure of happiness, the one we do every day, is off the charts good. In fact, right track is bigger than wrong direction for basically the first time in our entire polling history. The only time they even matched each other was in January of Trump's first term. So that is record-breaking and crazy because everybody's focused on Trump approval. But the thing is that Trump approval, like Trump's had more slanderous news coverage thrown at him than any other person, and some of that sticks. It is baggage, and I don't think that's necessarily a really good measurement to use about where the headspace of the voters are. But even then, in our numbers right now, Trump approval's at 50%. I think it's probably going to hover there, 50% plus or minus 2 points. Right. It's certainly not the 45 that all the lefty pollsters are trying to tell you. It's really weird. They came out and they're like, oh, Trump's got great approval in January. And then they're like, ha, 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 Trump's got horrible approval in February. And it's a complete lie. You can go to Real Clear Politics, and it's exactly who you'd think it would be. CNN, Quinnipiac, Reuters Ipsos, like just the same characters. Harvard Harris has Trump up 9 right now, net 9. So I don't know. I think this is what people wanted, and we can get into some other polling that I think reinforces it. But then today was also kind of like, in my opinion, the first major unforced error that MAGA will take pay attention to. Right. And so I don't know how that will impact things. Maybe he'll get a little blip on the Republican approval. I don't know. In the grand scheme of things, was this a big today? No, it's just a little bit of down because most people don't understand, why can't we just get it? Yeah. Just give us the files. Put them out there.
Now you're saying unforced error. The unforced error meaning Pam Bondi with not foreseeing and having this information ready, because I saw it in the chat today. Yeah. People were absolutely pissed off that she basically posted garbage at first.
Well, it's like she had it on her desk, she said that. Did you not look at it? Did it not match what your expectations were? Because my impression, probably the worst part about it is, I know it was great that the influencers were down there, and my understanding is that they were there for a different reason, not necessarily just to get this data. And then there was this ambush sort of photography session where everybody had these binders that the AG knew didn't really have anything, and all of a sudden these people are under embargo and couldn't actually come out and say, set expectations. Right. And so it's I think they got some flack too for how this played out. And it's probably just a blip on the radar, to be honest with you. But it's okay, here's where we're at. The Oscars are Sunday night. SDNY owes Pam Bondi some documents tomorrow at 8 a.m. Right. Let's get them out this weekend before the Oscars. Let's just do that. You know what I mean? No, not thousands of files. It's going to take forever to review them. I get maybe I'm setting the bar too high, but it's the level of trust in these institutions was ruined. Yeah. And so if you say, well, the FBI is worried about sources and methods, and we have to review it, and it's thousands of files that they've been sitting on for years, and we're going to have to review. It's going to take forever. Anything open-ended like we haven't really, I don't think we got much in the way of JFK stuff either. And I think a couple of deadlines passed for that. So listen, Trump's transparent by far, like a lot, but you can't make promises on these like really high visibility things and then just sort of flub. This was an incomplete pass. Let's just call it.
He after all this stuff broke, then he was like in 90, when we were going to talk earlier, about 90 minutes late coming out for the press conference with the Prime Minister of England. And he was visibly upset. He wasn't his normal self. You could tell he was pissed off. It wasn't even like, he was something bothering him. He looked pissed off. And I can't imagine when he walked off stage what would have happened, behind the scenes there, because he's astute enough to know there could be egg on his face right here, and these two people who the media has constantly said they're not good, they're inexperienced, and this huge case right out the box. How do you think the media is going to portray this?
Well, right now they're dunking on MAGA influencers, but luckily nobody pays attention to the media anymore, so It's all good. You know what I mean? It's like the media is Twitter and YouTube in a way that it just never was. Because, Trump's numbers have just been completely decoupled from all of the mainstream media's psychological operations, because they definitely were trying things. They still do the same things. I think like this week, what was weird is that all of a sudden, all these people just came back from blue sky to Twitter, like out of nowhere. It was just crazy. It's like, wow, Stephen King came back. All of a sudden I had trolls in my Twitter replies again. I haven't had them in weeks. And then the week before that, they were trying to create a false narrative about concerns about a constitutional crisis. There's literally, you could look at Google Trends, and you could see a really massive uptick in searches for constitutional crisis in a way that was just not organic. And what that means is like every, Axios and Wall Street Journal, they're all putting out articles about that. And meanwhile, like nobody, it didn't change the approval rating at all.
Now,
right direction went up.
There was one you had tracked, which kind of blew me away, which we'll have to track again because given what's about to happen, you tracked suicide.
Oh.
Tell me about that. I mean, that was a week ago.
This is my new hobby. This is my new hobby. Okay, so what we're talking about is I'm a pollster, and I ask people questions and then report on their results, and those results are supposed to represent what all of American likely voters or all Americans are thinking. But there's other really good public opinion tools, because I think this is going to be the year that people need to focus really hard on public opinion, because voters are getting something I don't think they ever thought was possible.
Right.
I think we're rapidly entering the end game of the fourth turning, and we could talk about that later, but this is accelerating really rapidly, and the deep state looks like it's going to try and resist this reform. And I'm surprised the resistance hasn't been bigger, but this is an existential crisis for Washington, D.C. And so what's going to limit what the feedback loop for Trump is whether public opinion still supports him. That's why it's going to be such a hotly contested topic, and they're going to keep lying about it. Because if they can say, well, Trump's approval is at 40%, and like my numbers are kind of down there too, they're not, but if they were, then it's like, well, all of a sudden people are going to be talking about Trump being a poorly approved of president. They're going to talk about how he spent his political capital, and all that lends like to a context where he can't just go in and take a hatchet to these organizations. It will limit him in some way. But that was a long way of saying one of my favorite things to do is go to Google Trends. It's literally like trends.google.com, and you can type in search terms and see it creates a unitless index of what people are searching, like the volume that they're searching, and you can compare it to past results going all the way back to the founding of Google. And there's been some really crazy results out of Washington, D.C., like the fact that in the last month, the search term criminal defense attorney was searched between 8 to 10 times higher than any other point going all the way back to 2004 in Washington, D.C. That's weird. That's a weird one. And the list, and it's like
before you get to the next one, let me explain to everybody. If you go, you can just type in Google Trends in the search. It'll take you there. And what you can do is you can put a search term in there, anything, eggs, whatever you want to put. It's going to graph and show you. There's going to be a graph that shows you what it looks like over a period of time, whether it's 1 year, 5 year, 10 years, 3 months, and you can see what the volume is in terms of searches. And so you can compare that, and you can compare it to periods of time, you can compare it to different years, you can compare it to different locations. And so what Mark did, he took a couple of search terms, put a time frame in, and then condensed it to the Washington, D.C. area. Am I being correct there?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Exactly right. And this is, I call this like my PSYOP measuring tape, because you can tell. In fact, like, I think a really good example of this is that back in the end of May, Norm Eisen has an organization called CREW that's supposed to be, I don't know, like Responsibility News. I don't know what it is, but it put a report out about how Trump, it looked at all of Trump's Truth Social posts, and it measured the amount of times that retribution or revenge was brought up. And that report was put out, and it was picked up by almost every mainstream media organization over the course of June. So much so that nationwide, I forget if it was retribution or revenge, but it's very visible. Nationwide, it went from like 50% to 100%. So that's like 100% increase in nationwide search volume for that term. And then what happened in July is that Trump got shot.
Right.
It's like the report came out, the search volume went up. There was weeks of articles about this concept, and then somebody shot Trump. Now, I'm not implying necessarily causality, but this is the tools they use. But if you want to go on Google Trends and have a really fun time, you can look at, well, has his nationwide volume increased, or is Washington, D.C. have a higher volume than other states? Or if you look at 30 days, trailing 30 days for Washington, D.C., has there all of a sudden been a rapid increase in search volume? And so here are some search terms. I'll just rattle them off that are really interesting.
I saw some of these, and it makes even more sense with what's happening today. So go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. We got list house, suicide, extradition, immunity. What else? Lorazepam, therapy. Suicide was one. It goes on. There's like 30 of these terms. Treason, death penalty. Like, now some of those are like, it's not high volume, but for some reason there was just months of no search volume. And then all of a sudden people in Washington, D.C. are searching statute of limitations. Like, there's just crazy stuff. But the big one again is paper shredders, like literally everything. But the big one is criminal defense attorney. The volume in Washington, D.C., the last time I checked, was bigger than the next 11 states.
Wow.
So that's a big signal. Really big signal.
What do you think it is? I mean, because you would think some of these people in the Beltway area have money. They could, and they're all attorneys, so they must know other attorneys. Why would they be searching for criminal attorneys?
They're lawyering up. Maybe they want to put a plea deal in. Maybe they're worried that they're finding lawyers. And quite frankly, if I was in the DC area and I was a swamp creature and I illegally enriched myself with multiple streams of taxpayer information, I would want to get a criminal defense attorney as fast as possible, because they're probably going to run out. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so many people that practice law in DC. At some point, they're going to be tapped out.
As you're talking, I'm putting in Jeffrey Epstein and seeing if that has risen.
Are we getting anything? Yeah. And well, I hate this. Like, you know, there's the timelines. It's like, oh, we got another deadline, so now I got to wait till 8 a.m. tomorrow, and then I'm going to have to sit there and hit F5 and refresh over and over again, and then we probably won't find anything out till later in the day, and they'll say, oh well, we're going to take till Monday to review it, and then I'm going to have to hit F5 again, refresh.
So let me just tell you, okay? The number one search on Google for a web search in the United States right now, the number one search is Gene Hackman. But that's been going for for quite some time. The number two search is Epstein, and the graph is straight up. So that tells you if you were in the news business, you can see what people are interested in. I mean, you see Gene Hackman, Epstein, Andrew Tate, and then, some basketball and stuff like that, but they're not even close in terms of volume. If you look at Andrew Tate, it's 100,000 searches. But if you look at Epstein, it's like 600,000 over the last couple hours. So people who may not have known what was going on definitely are searching to try and find out what is happening, which is pretty crazy because Hackman's done. Hackman went up and it's down. And if you look at Jeffrey Epstein, it's just a straight up graph. So you've got some data there, Mark, to start looking at, because that's not going to go away anytime soon.
It's like his approval rating has been, in my opinion, recently decoupled from the news cycle completely. Well, I don't even remember the last time I heard of anything come out of the Sunday morning news cycle at all. And so where you're at is that we have a populist uprising right now. And so the Democrats are in a horrible state. All the politicians are basically hiding. The mainstream media doesn't work anymore. One by one, their propaganda outlets are falling. Like the Washington Post editorial page, that's a huge thing. That's a really huge thing. And, other papers will probably follow suit. And I think there's a culture of, at some point, like, this stuff doesn't make money anymore and we can't keep doing it. They lose a lot of power. And so there's a power vacuum on the Democrat side for somebody to come in and take the reins. And mostly right now, you're just seeing insane people. It's like Bernie and AOC. That's not going to do anything. And so, like, everybody's just watching Trump, and Trump controls the news cycle. And he's given voters a lot of what they wanted. But if you're going to take really major things like this and rug pull people, it's going to catch up to you. Even if you give them more than this one thing, everybody wants this one thing. They're Googling it. Like, this is what people are doing today. They're on Google trying to find out who is named in the Epstein list.
Here, I think you can still, can you see the screen right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a 7-day search for the term Jeffrey Epstein, just for 7 days. You can see that right here, and boom. I mean, when you start seeing these dots, that means like this thing can't even be tracked. It's that bad. And so I don't know how the media or people can avoid this at this point, because it's beyond anything that's in the news. It is exploded, which means it's going to have some legs. So how would you, moving forward, put that into any data set or anything that you could use in terms of data to see how it affects Trump positively or negatively?
To be honest with you, this is all just this is input into voters' brains, and then I'm going to measure voters' brains. Okay. And we're trying to pick a whole lot of topics right now to go after. And I mentioned it before. I'll give you a big mind blower that just came out at the end of last week. But these individual things, it's like we've polled on Epstein before. Only like 27% of people think that he actually killed himself, and that was a long time ago. But I didn't know it was going to blow up on this day. We need a 4 or 5 day lead time on these topics. So we have interesting stuff about Kash Patel, about Canada, about like things that are in the news that we've been trying to poll on. But where we're at, and I've talked about this a lot on my show, is that I don't know if you've gotten into this with your viewers, but I think we're at the end of the fourth turning. And what that means is that like every 80 to 100 years, there's a major crisis, because you get to a point where people just don't have the order anymore. They're too individualistic and narcissistic, and things fall apart. And all the institutions then fall apart too, and it gets so bad that people innately crave order. And I think that's happening because like long form news content consumption is up and mainstream media lying is down. And people are just ripping on the entertainment. I think this is all very much people demanding order, and that's why Trump's in the White House, and now we're getting order. And I think things are going to completely realign themselves. I don't think you can't put this toothpaste back in the tube. Like, I don't think they're going to be able to stick a spoke in Trump's wheels and flip the bike. Like, this is literally a protracted war with a deep state right now. Right. And maybe it gets hot and maybe it doesn't, because there's a lot of insane leftists calling for violence right now. But that's the story of this year. I don't think if the current crop of Democrats get back into power, I think everything's on the table. And so Trump he has a very compressed timeline with which to completely fix this. And by that, I mean, people of integrity need to be entrenched in our system of government everywhere, and there needs to be accountability measures. So that's a very short amount of time, and they're going to try everything possible to stop that. And we're going to poll on it all along. And what we did is our kind of like first wave of questions about this topic. And it's not like, well, should all these people be hung? Because it's not time for that yet.
Right.
And I don't think people know, like, we're talking about theft of 10, 15, 20 trillion dollars maybe over decades.
Yeah.
Like, this is the future of my children has been stolen from them by people who think they're God, like down in Washington, D.C., that are completely entitled and think that the world deserves them a cushy life of unaccountability and largesse. It's really sick. And then they like step on our neck and shut down like our First Amendment rights. It's really perverse. And I don't think people have. America's going to have to wrap their heads around how big this evil criminal enterprise got.
Yeah.
And they're not there yet. And it's going to fall on people like us, I think, to tell them, because the mainstream media is not. But here's the first wave. This is February 16th to 18th. How likely is it that some employees of the federal government have engaged in fraud to enrich themselves with taxpayer money? 47% very likely, wow. 23% somewhat likely. That's 7 in 10 U.S. likely voters. That's a massive number. Only 7% say not at all likely. So we're talking 70 to 25. 70% likely, 25% not likely. And, you know, it's less Democrats that say very likely, but it's still 1 in 3 of them, and 60% of Democrats say likely. So everybody agrees that some employees of the federal government are enriching themselves with taxpayer money. And this is all like everybody's saying, oh, people hate Doge. Well, we got a Doge 55% favorability rating, net plus 10, I think it was. That's more favorable than Trump. So everything that Trump ran on is more favorable than Trump, believe it or not. And then this one, how would you describe your current feelings about the amount of waste, fraud, and abuse in federal government spending? 45% very angry, 25% somewhat. Again, 7 in 10 people. Okay. So 7 in 10 Americans are angry at what they're seeing right now. And also, almost half, the highest in Rasmussen history, say the country's on the right track. So this is a very strong signal that has nothing to do with Donald Trump approval. Mm-hmm. And that's what's in the news. They're trying to. It's Harry Enton on CNN is like, his approval's plunging. His approval's plunging. G. Elliott Morris is like making up crap, try and say his approval's plunging, and it's like, who cares? Like, who really cares? But Mark, people like what they see so far.
Mark, this may dwarf that, depending on how how it's portrayed and the question you ask. Because if there is a tie between Doge and people making money and doing something with these 350,000 kids, and all this begin, because what you just said struck me. You said, you know, basically Trump got an unforced error with this whole thing. So the way to come back from an unforced error is to explode it. Hey, we're going to write this big time and come out and blow it out and give names and do everything else. And he's the type of guy that would understand what you said. We took an unforced error. I don't want to take the time to build this back up. I want to come and show everybody it was a mistake, but now here's what happened, and drop all that information. And I got to believe that people, left and right, when they begin hearing about all the stuff that happened with kids over there, it's going to blow everything else away. I mean, what do you think about it? I mean, I don't even know how you chart that, but if Trump comes out tomorrow, if she gets these documents, she drops thousands of pages and pictures and videos and all kinds of stuff like that, it's going to turn people's stomachs to the point where they're going to be absolutely pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't know, because also, you know, we had the Joe Biden laptop, right?
Yeah, but that
and part of the problem. No, I know.
Yeah.
Like, part of the problem is I'll give you. Let me pull up some more polling. I'll give you the numbers.
Okay, while you're doing it, let me tell you. Here's the reason why it's different. They suppressed it. They were able to keep that under wraps, so a lot of people didn't know.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to keep this under wraps. I mean, at this point, I don't know where it's going to go. Yeah.
Well, we're in an entirely different news media consumption. And so what we're trying to figure out is, since the entire wheel of lies has been broken, how engaged and informed are the normies? Oh. So I'll give you an example. We asked FBI questions because of Kash Patel. And 17% have no idea who he is. And he's got 47% favorable, 36% unfavorable. So he's net plus, 11? So it's pretty good. Like, pretty good for somebody who is vilified. But does the FBI need to be reformed? 52% say yes, but 31% say no. And 43% of Democrats, and the highest number is Trump's strong disapprovers. 59% say no. No, of course, FBI is great. And then Kash Patel wrote a book entitled Government Gangsters. How much of the time does the federal government act like government gangsters? And only 17% say all the time. 24% say most of the time. So that's 41%. And then you got half say some of the time or rarely or never. So you have 30% who say no, the FBI is great. I love that they stormed Mar-a-Lago and had authorization to use deadly force. I love that they did that. And then you got 40% who says that the federal government acts like government gangsters. Okay. So that leaves you 30% in the middle. And there's, not counting the somewhats and stuff like that. 30 or 40% in the middle that's like, I don't know, but I still vote. And I used to watch, this, but now I watch that. And I don't know. It's like that person has to understand that for their entire life, when people said we have to cut the budget, it was like, okay, well, we're going to come after your entitlements. Turns out all you have to do is just get rid of all the extra duplicates of the Social Security number. Like, that's crazy. And it's like things like the Epstein list will break through. But I was joking, not really joking about this. I think they need to, there was a rumor that Elon Musk was going to run 5 Super Bowl ads. And that was the best idea I'd ever heard. Yeah. Normies need to know on linear TV or networks somehow all of the depth and breadth of this, because a lot of them are angry, but it's like, if I ask them, how many of, I don't know the right way to do you support or
got
oppose
a question for you.
massive criminal trials? Yeah.
How many of you would be upset if the government was involved in covering up this stuff? Because money is one thing. You're cutting aid, and we're doing this, and my Medicaid, and my Social Security, and all the stuff that they can use to obfuscate. This is a very simple question. If your government was involved in covering up this kind of a crime, are you okay with it? And I gotta believe it's in the 90s.
We've asked the cover-up signal before. We asked. I'll get these numbers directionally correct. I don't know if I'll have them exactly, but I think it was 68% of Americans back in May of 21, I think it was, said that it was likely that COVID originated in a lab in Wuhan, and then another 60, it was low 60s, said that it was at least somewhat likely that the government was covering it up. And that was really early in COVID. And then we had a very similar signal to how likely is it that government agencies are helping cover up the Hunter Biden laptop stuff.
So Mark, people know this is completely different. I'm telling you, my wife's screaming at this.
I know.
She's out there screaming how could they not give this woman the data and information she wanted? You are explicitly telling the world you are covering up bad stuff to kids. And it's not like the Hunter, even the Hunter laptop. There were rumors that there were things going on, but it was basically a drug addict man with some prostitutes. This one is completely different. This is something where
yes and no. It's like the CIA, JFK, Operation Northwoods. Like, this stuff has happened before. it's our government does very evil things. And I think what we're finding out now is that, like, all of it. Now, let me caveat that. I don't mean every human being, but I mean on average, because of the culture that's been built and the leadership that is in place, on average, our government is really freaking evil. Like, maybe one of the worst governments on earth. I don't think Russia does crap this bad. They're not stealing from the few, like, really bad.
Yeah.
Everything justified by threats to democracy. We're literally, like, enabling millions of people to be killed in proxy wars because of our, distorted sense of national security priorities. It's really sick.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of people know that, but not all of them. Mm-hmm. And maybe that matters and maybe it doesn't. And it comes down to, I don't know what level of accountability we've seen. I've heard two different things. I've heard it's like, oh, they're expanding Gitmo and Pete Hegseth went down there. That's crazy. Why did a SecDef go down there the first month of his term? Then I also talked to somebody that I really respected who said, listen, there's just no way. There's no way most of the leaders in charge of this that have perpetrated all these evils are going to be held accountable because it's just not set up to do that. And you're going to have to settle for their security clearances getting pulled and for them never working in government again. And it's like, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't know. Maybe Eric Swalwell will be on the leading edge of this. Maybe he'll be the one that we all. I've been waiting. Nick, get it out there. Get that whole video out there, Nick. Let's see how bad it is. Let's see if Congress will censure that guy. Let's see if that might be the first one.
It's going to be up to us. It's going to be up to us to push it out there and let people know. I mean, I'm looking at X, and it's just like this. There's all kinds of stuff happening. It's becoming a something where if you don't believe it, which is nothing really to believe, they didn't give her the file. But if we see a splash, I mean, tomorrow's Friday. I wouldn't let it go over the weekend. He's going to have to come out with a splash probably tomorrow. But then again, Zelensky is coming in tomorrow, so there's going to be a whole nother swath of information because Zelensky signing this agreement. How much air is that going to suck out of this whole thing? I don't know. But I envy you. I don't envy you. You got too much data. You're going to have. You're going to have.
Well,
so much
it's like it's a tough job. The tough job is keeping up with all the news, and then we have 3 or 4 topics every couple of days, and we have to pick. It's like, what's going to be the most relevant? Yeah. And I'll tell you, our batting average is pretty low right now because it's moving so fast. I think you're right. Like, Zelensky might suck the oxygen out of this. Yeah. And listen, I guess my feedback to them is like, it would be horrible if they released all this stuff and then it like blew a live operation or got some asset killed or something like that. So it's like, take your time, but then also don't make false promises with data that you can't give like a certain date. But we're going back into the field today with it's time to drain the swamp, agree or disagree, and how many people in the government want to drain the swamp, and then we're going to poll on the gold card visa program. That'll be interesting. Yeah. And so these are good things. We're actually even talking about female leadership, which is a topic we haven't talked about in a long time. I think that'll be relevant. So we do our best, but it's a moving target right now, for sure.
Well, Mark, thank you very much. I'm really interested to see about the gold card, the $5 million gold card. I have a segment coming up on that in a little while. But thank you very much on short notice jumping on and talking about this. You guys, if you want to get a hold of Mark from Rasmussen, you can see his handle right there, Mark _R_ Mitchell. I guess Mark.
I just changed it.
You changed it?
I just changed it.
What is it now?
It's honest pollster. It was available, believe it or not. Nobody had taken it yet. So
what the handle is honest pollster?
Yeah.
Let me see if
like 2 days ago. So.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so let me put that on the screen so everybody can see it. So if you want to get a hold of Mark, there you go. Mark Mitchell, Rasmussen reports, and his handle is Honest Pollster, @Honest Pollster. That's funny. How did you change it? They allow you to change. You can. Oh, you have to change it.
Go right in.
And it goes dark for a
while.
Now
it breaks links and stuff like that, and it takes, I think, a day or two to get your check back. But whatever, it was worth it for me. Like, I thought that was hilarious. So,
I just noticed that Data Republican is doing a space right now on Epstein, but not that many people listening. There's only 900 people listening. So, Ashley, you got to get her on our show. All right, Mark. Thank you very, very much for stopping in, and can't wait to see what the numbers you come up with.
Yeah, great being here. The gold card looks like it's going to be a majority, the early data, so that's good at least. So yeah, maybe I'll send it over when we get it back.
Please.
Great being here. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. All right, everybody, that was Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen Reports. The Honest Pollster is his new handle. I'm going to take a quick break for Lear Capital, and then we're going to jump right back into this Pam Bondi stuff, and we're going to dig into what actually happened today. As you know, President Trump has assembled the Avengers to make America great again. And of course, we're all excited and ready to see them get to work. But with everything we're seeing right now, don't take your eye off the ball. Things could get much worse before they get better. With the possibility of World War III still looming, and with the Democrats doing everything they can to impede Trump, you still need to keep your guard up and your money protected. Oh, and our national debt is still massively increasing. Don't get me wrong, I have high hopes for Trump's America, but I also have a family to look out for. You see, Trump and the Avengers have quite the uphill battle ahead. That's why I'm making sure I'm protected, and I'm recommending that you do the same. One way to be protected is by diversifying your portfolio. That's why on this channel I've been happy to partner with Lear Capital. As you know, I've been involved in real estate for quite some time. And although I dabbled in gold and silver, Kevin and his staff at Lear have helped to educate me even further, especially in regards to silver. Give Lear a call today and they'll show you how easy it is to move some of your savings or your retirement account into gold and silver. Gold and silver have been proven to hold value and protect wealth for the long term. Call Lear today at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com to get your free gold and silver wealth protection guides. There's no obligation, just free information. Many of you have seen my interviews with Lear founder Kevin Demerit, and I can tell you this company is solid and likes to educate their customers. Just so you know, Lear has over 27 years of experience, thousands of 5-star reviews, and over $3 billion in trusted transactions, and is the only company with a 24-hour risk-free purchase. You don't pay unless you're 100% satisfied. So call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And when you call, don't forget to ask how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold or silver with a qualifying purchase. So if you'd like to take advantage of this opportunity, please call my friends at Lear Capital at 800-601-5430 and tell them Barry sent you. You know, one of the things about doing this show is I absolutely love when people come on and they think they got the gotcha. And, you know, this person from Glory Fire says, Pam Bondi did release the files. Go to her government page and get your facts straight, please. Well, Glory Fire, you must have jumped into this stream kind of late. Because if you saw from the beginning, we showed you and showed everybody that was here on time where those files were. And just to let you know, those are not all the files. I'm just going to say, you know, if you're going to come on and tell somebody to keep their facts straight, maybe perhaps you should get your facts straight. That's a public service announcement because you be wrong and you be called out at this point. Oh, people crack me up sometimes. Absolutely crack me up. They jump in like if the show has been going for 30 minutes. Hey, you didn't cover this and you're wrong. Like not realizing that they don't know what they're talking about. All right, so I mentioned Liz Wheeler earlier, showed you her video. And Liz Wheeler kind of goes through a timeline of things. I want to bring this to you. She goes, this is a story, and it's pretty interesting. President Trump and AG Pam Bondi committed to releasing the Epstein files. The files, all of it. FBI was told to deliver the files to Pam. They did, about 200 pages. That was it. Bondi smelled a rat because there was nothing juicy in the 200 pages, just flight logs and a Rolodex of phone numbers, no smoking gun. Still, Bondi promised to release the documents, so she prepared a binder of them. Then, and this is where it gets interesting for those of you not playing the Jeopardy home game, this is the new information. Then, last night, after she appeared on Jesse Waters, or whenever that was, a whistleblower contacted her and revealed that the SDNY was hiding potentially thousands of Epstein files, defying Bondi's order to give them all to her. I know what you're thinking, because I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking, you get a binder with 200 pages of stuff, and that's it? It didn't set off alarm bells to you? That there has to be more than this? Well, see, that's the part we don't know. And that's the part we're not going to know. I think many of you are convicting Pam Bondi at this point. Going, oh, she's useless. She's ineffective. She doesn't know what she's doing. I've seen Pam Bondi in action here in South Florida. There is no possible way, none, zero, that she received a document with 200 pages in it and said, yeah, that's everything. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Whatever occurred behind the scenes at that point that they're not telling you, I'm telling you this part. It didn't happen. There is no possible way a woman of her stature, with her experience and her career, her accolades, in one of the biggest crimes ever, looked at a 200-page document and said, okay, we're good. Didn't happen. So something went on behind the scenes once she got that 200-page document. We're not going to know. We're not going to be privy to. I'm not in the FBI. I'm not in any law enforcement. But I can tell you, if you think that she took a 200-page document and she needed a whistleblower to whisper in her ear, hey, there's actually more, then you need to go by a bridge, out in Idaho. No possible way. None. Zippo. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That would be insane. There are 200-page documents for someone that, get in a car accident or something. And you're telling me that she was like, oh, there's only 200 pages here. I'm good. No, didn't happen. Did not happen. And so the full file, as you would imagine, is talking recordings, evidence, the juicy stuff, names, these swamp creatures at SDNY deceived Bondi, Kash, and you. And I would have put a comma and the President of the United States. Be outraged that the binder is boring, you should be, because the evil deep state lied to your face. The binder is powerful because it's tangible physical evidence of the disgusting stunt the SDNY tried to pull. That's why it's important. You see, again, without patting her on the back, I'm like, Pam Bondi knew right then and there something was wrong. And what is it? Well, I got this document of 200 pages. And that document that she had that was 200 pages was proof that there was a crime committed. See? See how that fits? Because I needed you to do something to expose yourself, and you stuck your head out and sent me this 200-page document and went, that's all. Okay, yeah, right. Bondi is now demanding all the evidence from SDNY plus an investigation into the persons who committed this act of defiance. The legacy media has betrayed you again and again, and they lie to you, they smear you, they gaslight you. They deserve no special access to real-time exposure of corruption because they played a role in covering it up in the first place, which is what I was talking to Mark Mitchell about. You are the media, Elon said. Yes, we are. So celebrate the regular people are being given access to the most powerful people in our country to report on despicable corruption as it's being uncovered in real time, and be very, very angry that the deep state agents in the swamp at the SDNY are at this moment, defying President Trump and AG Bondi and you who voted for him into office, lying and hiding the truth about Epstein because they don't want their own corruption and weaponization of government exposed. And General Michael Flynn, who will be here next week, says yes, get the names of the guilty. That should be easy. Do not fire them. Publicly arrest them. Give the whistleblower a medal and a bonus. Release every single file now, and do not hold back on any of the victims, except for the victims' identities. Shut down the SDNY completely. They are absolutely worthless. That's what needs to happen next. A very public display, a very with everybody watching, cameras, and do the perp walk and arrest them all and shut it down. They've just given Kash Patel the reason. Remember, he wanted to shut it down, and now they're going to find out here's the reason why. It's the only logical next step. As I was talking to Mark, you got to go big here. You can't go back into the corner. You can't go back into a shell. Now you got to make a splash. If the media is laughing at you and if trolls are laughing at you, now you have to make the big splash. I'm not talking about making the influencers, or whatever that means, make them happy. I'm talking about you've got people, even people in this chat here, who are not happy. They think that, you're incompetent. If you don't believe anything I say, anytime, believe this. Pam Bondi is not incompetent. I've seen it. Down here, she's taken down some really big criminals. So see where it goes and see how this thing plays out. Because I think we're going to see a lot of stuff happen. Liz Wheeler, what did we just say here? Yeah, she posted again, and I want you to see this. Let me make this very clear. The binders were not given to us at the White House under any pretense that they contained damaging information. AG Bondi was pissed because the deep state swamp creatures lied to her and gave her the files in the binder, pretending the contents, yes, a nothing burger, were the complete documents. Again, there's no way there's no way she accepted that was the complete file. She was pissed because she knew as soon as she had it, you're trying to scam me. Why aren't you pissed that the SDNY defied President Trump and Bondi to attempt to subvert your votes? Why aren't you outraged that the FBI swamp traitors tried to hide evidence of what we know are heinous crimes and the powerful people implicated in those crimes? Why aren't you screaming for the SDNY to give those files to Bondi, for Bondi to release them, and for Kash to absolutely level the SDNY? She just put that up like 45 minutes ago. That's what you need to be screaming at. And so, something really interesting happened, and when it happened, a lot of people were like, what exactly is going on? Well, I don't know if you saw this, but Kash Patel put out a tweet, an X post. I must have had 8 people send it to me, and I clicked on the link, and it was gone. Gone. And I'm thinking, what exactly happened? And I knew people would screenshot it. And so he then followed it up with an edited tweet, which was different. And that pissed people off because people put the side by side what he said previously versus what he said in the next tweet. And they're like, well, why did you water it down? But before I can say watering it down, you have to see this. And this was by a handle called MJ Truth Ultra. Kash Patel reposted after deleting, but he made some key changes and brought to justice. In the first post, the line, anyone from the prior or current bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued and brought to justice, included the phrase, and brought to justice. In the second post, which was, as you can see, about half an hour apart, that phrase is removed. So it only says anyone from the prior or current bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued. Notice the difference in language? And the phrase, and brought to justice, was removed and changed to will be pursued. In the Epstein investigation, in the first post, the line, if there are gaps in the Epstein investigation, we will find them specifically, and it mentions the investigation. In the second post, this is generalized to say, if there are gaps, we will find them, removing the reference to the Epstein investigation completely. Number 3, the law and. In the first post, the line says the oath we take is to the law and the Constitution. It includes the law and. The second post, this is shortened to the oath we take is to the Constitution, removing the law and. Summary, in the second post, the following phrases were taken out. And here are the two posts. And you can see for yourself. I just read you what's taken out, but this was the first one. And there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, no stone left unturned. If there are gaps in the investigation, we will find them. If records have been hidden, yada, yada, yada. And he deleted it and made a shorter post, and he took some of that language out. What does it mean? I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. I don't know why he made the second post softer. That in itself is causing a lot of people, some additional consternation. Let's see here. And people are taking screenshots too. And this was the one in which a lot of people are saying, we are being lied to. I give up. Time for people to get used to the idea that we will never get accountability. I can't go there. Maybe it's legal. I don't know. Whatever the reason it is, it doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm not a lawyer. Maybe to you, if you're a lawyer, while he took that information out. I have a friend who's a law enforcement officer. Let me just leave that as a description. He texted me, and his text says, Pam and Kash owe it to the 250 plus victims to do their best to get justice for these victims. They are rattling the tree to see what nuts fall or run. The public already knows the names. Just let that sink in. We already know who the people are. We won't be surprised when we see the names. There may be a few surprises, but we know the names. The public will get these names, sit back, and then say, I told you, the victims need closure. So when you're seeing that stuff change, and there's a different language, there may be some things that they're doing to protect the victims. However old these people are at this point, they're still entitled to some privacy. It is what it is. I mean, when you go through this document, which I posted the link to, and you start seeing all the names in here, we're going to start seeing more redactions. It says redactions. Okay, here's what it says. If you see the legend here, you guys can't see it, but it says redactions are being made for personal contact information, but the names are there. When you go through this document, there are names. Do we know what they did, why they were there, why are they in this list, why are they on this file? I can't tell you, but there are, how many pages is this? Have you guys gone through it already? I mean, it must be, there's 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24. Let me just scroll down and see how many pages this is. It's 93 pages of names. And all they did is they redacted their information. So as we speak right now, there are people obviously going through this entire document, and they will parse these names. And Data Republican, she may be one of them, and try to start lining these things up. But the names are there. Now we have names. And more than likely, I'm looking at Ghislaine Maxwell. It's all there. Now we just need to see the pictures and the evidence, because that is going to be absolutely crazy. Marjorie Taylor Greene posted this. The Epstein list is going to be released and much more is coming. There is currently a war raging within. Come on, man. See, there's no hyperbole. This isn't something Barry's being hyperbolic and he's making, dramatic. No, man. We recognize it at this point. You can euphemize it all you want, but there's no other way to describe this mutiny that you're seeing. The resistance within will be beaten and the truth will be revealed. I am so proud of Pam Bondi and Kash, both warriors. Don't believe anyone who tries to sow discord or doubt, even some members of Congress and those you think are on our side. The information will be released quickly to the people. And she followed up, and this was the letter that Pam Bondi had sent out by them not giving the right information. So, that being said, let me take a few comments and see what you guys are saying. Right on, Barry has been right all along. War is here. And if you know war is on your doorstep, there are going to be a whole bunch of people go, you drama queen. Okay. Well, I'm telling you what. If this goes the way I think it may go, well, let me rephrase that this way. If this goes the way that it appears it may go, how are you prepared? Because if they're willing, think about it this way. If they're willing to defy the president and the attorney general, you have to realize you don't mean anything. So if they have to do things to protect themselves, and in doing those things to protect themselves, other people, other innocents, other observers end up getting in the way, what do you think they'll do? And I don't mean like coming to your house and burning it or anything like that. I'm talking about, we've heard many times about, the 10 days of darkness. Are you prepared? You have 10 days worth of supplies. We are in a place that this country probably hasn't been since the first Civil War, when brother against brother took up arms against each other. This is such a vile thing. Many people they're not allowed to even understand. Like, oh, I can't believe you're talking about this, Barry. There's no way this took place. You see it. You can see it right in here. Wow. President should have... If it gets to that point, can you imagine? Please, no pictures made public. Don, I completely understand that you don't want these pictures to be made public, but how do you make people look? Don't look away. Look. You see, we may be at that point. You can't look away. Looking away allows people to pretend like it didn't happen. And so, please, no pictures made public. Well, you have to redact the person's face, but there has to be some accountability in regards to look at what these people did. I personally don't need to see XYZ person having their pleasure with somebody, but I've already seen so many pictures because I took that red pill. Think about all the people, even in this chat, who've never seen it. I remember I talked about, panda eyes, and people are like, what are panda eyes? And I'm like, I don't know if you're ready for it. I don't know if you're ready for this. Robin was telling me, she goes, be careful. People ain't ready for this. And I'm like, well, if you want to know, maybe you just might want to look up yourself. And then the next day, people are like, oh my God, I can't believe I saw what I saw. But they didn't know. They didn't know what they didn't know. And so, it is such a, I don't know if the word heinous is right, but as more Americans begin taking that red pill, you can't unsee it. And because you can't unsee it, it lights a fire in you. And you're like, oh, these people need to be exposed. They need to be walked down the street and have every kind of vilification. Be careful. That's all I'm going to say. I am not going to belabor the point. I'm just going to tell you, be careful. Be careful what is out there. Be careful what you might see. Be careful with the names. That's another thing. Be careful. Just because Fred's name's on there doesn't mean Fred did something. Fred might have just went on a plane. Hey, I got a free plane ride to go to this resort. This resort over here in this island is pretty cool. And, there's swimming pools and there's parties and, oh, hell no. And Fred's like, I need to get out of here. You understand that trap that was set for some of these people. Relax, said the night man. We are programmed to receive. You can do whatever you want, but you can never leave. Look, all this stuff. Go listen to Hotel California again. Listen to the words, and you'll never get it out of your mind. Those of you who hear that song will say, oh, really? oh. You'll take on a complete different meaning once you listen to the words of that song. I'm telling you. You can pause right now and say, Barry, I'm going to pause and I'm going to go pull up Hotel California. And I want to hear it because something might happen. I might need to hear this. They stab it with the steely knives. All right, so Scott Pressler. Here's what happened. Today at the White House, I did receive the Epstein Files Phase 1 binder by order of Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel. The binder has 4 parts. This 200-page binder is not a smoking gun. These are the documents that the FBI gave to Pam Bondi. So let's be clear, the FBI was hiding information on the files. And then you just have to keep asking yourself over and over again, why were they hiding the information? I was told there was an embargo on the information. As soon as we have the green light, I will share publicly what I know. If a binder is titled Phase 1, there will be other binders. The most transparent administration in history. So, perhaps Phase 1 was indeed just that. Maybe Phase 1, because I want to show this to you. This is the website where you can download all those documents, and it's titled Attorney General Pam Bondi releases first phase of declassified Epstein files. Phase 1. Which means there's more to come. How many phases? I don't know. Why are they doing it in phases? I don't know. But as I read to you from my law enforcement friend, there's stuff coming. Lots of stuff coming. Phase 1. So what you're going to see is a lot of people who you follow are going to continue talking about this over and over and over because there's so much coming out. One of the people you may want to follow is Mike Cernovich. Mike Cernovich, he's not as bombastic as some of the other people are out there, but he's a lawyer. And so as a lawyer, he can see some of the things that you and I wouldn't be able to see. He says, Pam Bondi wanted to get out what she could. She's a lawyer, not a media personality. And the OODA loop got effed up. It happens. Trump admin is being sued 1,000 times. Terrorists are attacking. Everyone is working 24/7. No one has a magic wand. And you're seeing these words. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the war. Glenn Beck, civil war. I say civil war. Cernovich says terrorists are attacking. At some point you have to begin thinking to yourself, this is getting pretty crazy. It's getting real deep. I mean, it's going to come to a head very, very quick. I'm going to I'm going to show you something, but first I have to do a read here that I'm scheduled to read in. Hold on one second. Where is it? Okay. Okay. This is from Patriot Addict again. Is it up? Okay. Folks, Trump is finally back in office, and it's only going to get better from here. As a celebration, Patriot Addict is sending our free Trump red knives. Everyone loves these red knives. So we got a red knives deal for you. The people who voted for Trump, just scan the QR code right over here to get yours right now. This is just their way of saying thank you for supporting him and being part of this moment in history. Normally this knife retails for $70, but right now you can grab it just for the cost of shipping, and people have told me it's like 13 or 14 bucks. Scanning the QR code to the right to apply your $100% off coupon and claim your Trump knife today before they're all gone. And I want to tell you, there have been so many people who have commented in the chat who have got these knives and said they're fantastic. They absolutely love them. You may see some people commenting them on right now. So I like the fact that I get feedback, immediate feedback, from people who understand that these are decent knives. Go ahead and get yours. Go ahead and hit the QR code and understand that all you got to pay is shipping, and you'll do fine. You'll like these things. You really will. Everybody says it. I heard one person who actually said something negative, and the person that said something negative was because the shipping, they didn't like the fact that the shipping was more, 13, 14 bucks. You're getting free knives. And at this point, you got people who are verifying that the stuff is actually real and it's good. Do it if you want. I got one more to read for you. All right. People often comment how I keep up with coverage of President Trump. Trust me, it's not easy. I get good sleep. I have a very encouraging and supportive wife. I've been working out again. And I've been eating right. That's probably the best thing. Eat right and exercise. I also take a couple of supplements that have really helped me and helped my energy. Let me tell you about one of them right now. Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? I recently saw a video he made, and I was shocked. He's in his 80s and still kicking butt and working out and staying active. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. And I've got grandkids, so that appealed to me. He did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger, her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/Barry. You can see it on the screen right there. chuckdefense.com/Barry, or by clicking the link below in this video. Trust me, it will change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/Barry, and click on the link in the description below to watch the video right now. Trust me, it's 100% free to watch the video. No charge whatsoever, a couple minutes every time. You won't believe how simple it is. Watch this method by clicking the link in the description box below. chuckdefense.com/Barry. And just a reminder, the legendary Chuck Norris is a whopping 84 years old. He's even older than Donald Trump. And yet, he has more energy than most people. I mean, that's awesome. He discovered he could create dramatic changes to his health simply focusing on 3 things that sabotage our body as we age. All right, so go to chuckdefense.com/Barry and check out that video. All right, that being said, let's jump right back in. Let's see, did I have more video stuff? Because I had to jump in and take Mark. Let me just see where I am with that. Okay. Mario Nafa, who's a very good person to follow. Breaking. Epstein, FBI informant confirmed. Newly released files reveal that Epstein wasn't just connected to intelligence, He was an FBI informant. This web is starting to get deeper. You see what I'm saying? You see how this thing is all going? Documents show he provided information to the Bureau while under prosecution in Florida. Epstein wasn't just a Mossad asset, he was an FBI informant. And then it goes on. So you can see the web here and how deep this stuff actually goes and how it's going to ensnare so many people. I don't believe that this thing is going to die. I don't believe that what we're going to see is just people just looking the other way. I think this is going to be bombastic, flame, everything you possibly see. Couple that with Doge and they find out some money and where it's going. This is going to be one of the biggest stories of 2025, as well it should be. And every single one of you, all of you, should understand where we are right now. It's absolutely terrifying. I have to be careful in what I can say here, obviously, but I encourage you to dig and dig hard and see all the different things that are going on out there, because it's really getting deep. I'm just checking a couple of the people that I follow, and what's very interesting is that you can tell some of the people are trying to stay away from this. It is a very painful story. It's very it touches the third rail, and as we move forward, you're going to see more and more of this stuff come out, and it's not going to be nice. It really won't. Anna Paulina Luna, who's obviously in Congress, she says phase 2, and this was at 6:55, phase 2 incoming soon. Documents coming from FBI to Bondi. The DOJ has just released the old Epstein documents, the same ones giving out in part 1, but part 2 is coming. And you can tell the trolls. This is nothing but crap, full of redacted, and more redactions. I understand victim names and names only, but literally everything is redacted. Sean Farage says, oh good, more reactions of already public info, or are we going to get a little bit more transparency this time? Woosah. Chill. This is very, very sensitive information. Yeah, we all waited quite some time to see this. Just give it a little bit more time. This is probably going to explode tomorrow or over the weekend. It's not going away. Let's see here. People are talking about different things here. Nick Sordor, he's pissed off. There's a lot of people pissed off. Here's what Nick says. Nick says, let me be very clear. The files were not released today. Regardless of what the headlines say, keep the pressure on. We the people demand everything. I feel for these people. I feel for all of us. We want all of this stuff out. And the only thing I can interject a little bit more than what maybe some of the people are posting out there is knowing Pam Bondi's history down here in South Florida and talking to law enforcement officials who kind of understand what's going on. This is one of those all hands on deck type things. Here's something that Jack Posobiec put out. And he's retweeting what Anna Paulina Luna put up. He's like, veterans lead the way. Get ready. See that? To me, we got a table setting today. The table setting said, here's what we're gonna show you. Here's a little bit. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you right now, and I don't know why they're releasing them in phases. Maybe because it's easier to digest. Maybe to get you ready. Maybe to get people to make moves they ordinarily would make. Think about it. If you're on these lists, if they have pictures, here you go. If they have pictures of you, if they have video of you, and you tell people, here's phase one. What does this interim time do? Because if you know they're coming, one, you could say, hey, listen, my attorney, can you see what they got? Am I on that? Do I need to cut a deal? Do I need to, whatever? Do I need to get out of town? But it's too late. The trap has been sprung. They're going to watch bank accounts. They're going to watch airports. Everything at this point. The people who are the bad people already know what's coming. We don't. I don't. You don't. But if you partook in some things over that on that island, you definitely know what you did. There's nobody who doesn't know what they've done. Now imagine, for 1 second, don't get mad at Pam, don't get mad at Kash. Put yourself as one of the, I know it's incredible, you couldn't possibly, but put yourself as one of those people who used to go over there and party and partake in the pleasures of evil. You know what you did. And now, would you want to play poker against Donald Trump? Because he's throwing breadcrumbs out there, and it's not meant for you, not meant for me. We're not the audience for what happened today, just so you understand it. That's why everybody's pissed off. That's why everybody's pissed off. I expected more than this crap. I expected more. Yeah, because it wasn't for you. This was a Nessun Dorma moment. You will not sleep. Now when you start thinking about that, going, yeah, Nessun Dorma, yeah, he played that a lot. Yeah, he did. And now everybody who did something, they know that they know. We're disappointed. We wanted more. But as I'm talking to my law enforcement friends, it's starting to make sense. Understand where things are headed, how they're going, who this stuff is meant to be for. You know, you and I can't even conceive of what may have happened. I don't even want to, I couldn't even imagine what was done. But what I can imagine is if I did do that and Donald Trump and the boys knew about it, what do you think would be happening right now? How much pacing in the hallways would there be? Because they used to say this about Trump, oh, the walls are closing in. Even if I can't get a conviction, how are you going to live a life when I show people this? Because these and the Oscars are coming, and guess what's happening on March 4th in 2 or 3 days, 4 days? The State of the Union. So between Doge and Epstein and all this stuff happening, the State of the Union is going to be lit. I don't think it's going to be a State of the Union like we've ever seen. I'm going to show you something, but I can't talk about it. I can only show. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's just too funny. That's just way too funny. I don't know if y'all saw it. Look, let me go to a bigger screen here. Y'all go about get me in trouble up in here. Ain't gonna get me in trouble up here. Oh no. Oh gosh. SP said he just spit out his drink. Oh, get myself in trouble up in here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Barry, what do you dream of? I dream of a day where I can talk to you and show you stuff and talk about it without fear of people getting pissed off. They're going to try to destroy this video anyway. I've mentioned the dude's name way too much, and there's probably too many people who are out there, the trolls reporting it. It doesn't matter. I'm an American, I feel for these kids, and I'm done. I'm done with them. I'm done with these people and what they've done. Oh, remember, peeps, it's going to take a minute or two to right this ship. Yeah, it is. It is. Barry, we all know that both of them are on that list. Again, disclaimer, the list doesn't mean anything. You're going to see people in the media tomorrow saying Donald Trump was on a list. That's what they're going to focus on. It's not the list. That's why when everybody said, I can't wait to see the list, look, the list doesn't mean anything. The part that means something, pictures and videos. This dude blackmailed tons of people. Over and over and over, he blackmailed people. So I can't even fathom what's going to be on these pictures. Nasty people. Yeah. Oh, man, it's just crazy. Not all the people that visited the island committed the acts. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Because a lot of them were duped. Hey, you want to go to a party? Got this dude. He's got his own island, man. It's pretty cool. He'll even fly you over. Oh, really? I don't have to fly? Yeah, we'll pick you up in New York. Yeah, let's go. Hey, man, who are these kids on the plane? Oh, man, it's for you. Hey, for me. Oh, no. Oh, too late. You've seen it. Now, see where the problem is. And what you just said, LaClara, here's where the problem is. The problem is you may not have committed anything, but if you saw something, and because of your stature as an entertainer, actor, actress, comedian, athlete, you didn't say anything. You see, it's career ending. Like, I can't say anything because if I say something, these people are going to blackball me. Well, then you're just as guilty. I'm sorry. If you saw heinous acts being done on, and you didn't say anything, and you saw it, look the other way, I'm sorry. You get the handcuffs too. Maybe your conscience right now. If you were on these planes or if you were on that island and you saw things and you weren't a part of, well, then now might be the time to call Pam Bondi. Now would be the time to call 1-800-SAVE-MY-ASS. Because nobody's going to care that you weren't the one actually doing it. The fact that you kept quiet about it because you had to have a new album, your new movie was coming out, and you couldn't say anything? I'm not giving them a pass for that. I am not giving people a pass for that. The tapes are everywhere. And if you saw something and you didn't do something, God help you. I can't help you. You got to pray to the Lord for forgiveness. I can't. I can't. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm just gonna get off this subject because it's so heinous. And you guys can do your own research. You can begin looking and understanding what's being said, what's not being said, because at this point, whenever phase 2 begins, it's going to be bad. And then whatever phase 3 begins, it's going to be bad. And over and over and over. So let's change pace here. I've got some stuff to cover from this afternoon that I didn't cover. And it was something I was talking about. Because I don't want you guys logging off and going to bed with that on your mind. I've seen what it did to my wife, and I don't want you just thinking, oh man, panda eyes, or don't even look tonight. It's 9:03. Don't go looking. You will not sleep, and you can tell people here. You can tell other people in the chat if you've done it. If you went and looked up these things, tell them don't tomorrow. Do it during the day. You're sitting, having your coffee or something. Don't do it tonight. You will not sleep. You will cry and cry and cry, and then you will shake, and you will, please, unless you've got someone right next to you that can hold you when you start crying, don't go looking up panda eyes and certain things like that. Just don't do it. So I'm going to pivot for the next, couple minutes here and talk about something else because, damn, it's bad. And then tomorrow, we're probably going to end up talking about it tomorrow because phase 2 or whatever is happening is going to happen. So earlier, I had put together a video where we were talking about how Trump is dominating the left. Absolutely dominating the left. This was before what we found out tonight. And I want you to hear how certain people on the left are starting to, they're starting to get the picture as to what is happening.
Members of the Democratic Party. Can you explain that to me, Carville? And for all the people watching the show who identify as Democrats, I get that it's hard to hear that. I have no ill will towards voters at all. In fact, my heart breaks for Democratic voters. I used to be a Democratic voter. I'm an independent now because I'm sick of how incompetent the Democratic Party really is.
In case you don't know, this is Anna. I think her name is Kaparian or something. She's with the Young Turks, and she's with Cenk, and she's been a Democrat. She was a strong Democrat. Now they make her sick.
And honestly, calling them incompetent really is generous. Because in reality, they're not incompetent necessarily, they're just corrupt. So they'd be happy to sit back and watch Medicaid get dismantled or other government programs get dismantled while pretending like they don't like it. Because they're funded by the same scum donors that fund Republicans, which is why every time Republicans accomplish something in their agenda, like the 2017 tax cuts, Trump's 2017 tax cuts. Remember when Biden claimed that he was going to reverse the cuts in corporate taxes? Trump cut the taxes from 35% to 21%. Biden comes in. He doesn't say, let's take the corporate taxes back up to 35%. His starting bid was 28%. And in the end, he didn't even fight for that because they love the tax cuts. The Democrats' donors love the tax cuts. So the idea that Democrats can sit back and do nothing, watch Republicans potentially cut incredibly critical programs like Medicaid, and then when Americans are really suffering from those cuts, Democrats are going to swoop in and reverse the damage that Republicans did in cutting Medicaid funding? Does anyone really buy for a second that they're going to do that? Because I don't. They have a proven track record of failing the American people. And that's why I'm so angry about what's happening in this country right now.
2 weeks.
So the Republicans have a track record of failing the American people. And she's mad because, they're not raising enough taxes. I've told you for a long time, and I'm positive she's exactly the same person that she's saying she doesn't like. Democrats who make a lot of money use Republican tactics, period. Every single one of them. They know tax shelters, they know how to put different things in place so that they can shield money and all. They're not stupid. It is comical that they pretend as though they're such about the little guy. I'm so for the little person. But then why don't you just pay more? Why are you bitching at other people for taking tax deductions and using tax loopholes? I hate the word loophole. They make it sound like it's something illegal when it's not. How about just saying using the tax code? It's not a loophole. It's printed right there. If you know where to look, it's right there. There's no loophole. Doesn't make any sense. When people do that, they're just trying to mess with your head. It's not a loophole. You know, it's funny, we've been talking about this stuff, and you know, people don't think I'll put him on the screen. This guy Marlon, Barry, you're so overdramatic. Well, hey, Marlon, guess what? I see you there with your wife. Looks like you're in your wedding gown. And all I want you to do is just imagine that she's been brought to, you know, the island, and there's people having their way with her. Not dramatic. Let you think about that. She gets whooshed off from she goes supermarket one day. And when she goes to the supermarket, she don't come home. Hey, Marlon, is that being dramatic? I don't know, Marlon. You tell me. You tell me your beautiful wife there in the gown, what would happen, how you would feel. Would you be over dramatic if she was like some of the people who just got whisked away and became a play toy? Think before you post something like that, because there are probably women in here who have had things happen to them. And when you say it's over dramatic, you look kind of stupid. You look, someone's daughter, someone's sister, someone's wife, maybe one of them now is now a mother. These people got taken advantage of. And you think it's being over dramatic? How soulless can you be? No one in this chat would wish upon your bride what has happened to some of these people. You're soulless. Man, I don't get some people. I hope that picture is vivid. Your wife goes to the grocery store one day and you're thinking, is she coming home? Well, it's awful late. She's not here. 11 o'clock at night. She's still not here. You don't hear from her anymore. And meanwhile, there's an island over there that I'm being overly dramatic about. Need to save that. So, with USAID, we're cutting off the money. The flow of money is basically stopping at this point. and watch exactly. SV said Marlon was banished. So Marlon didn't let me hear about his wife. Okay. Well, here's another guy begging for money.
President Donald Trump signed an executive order announcing his intention to withdraw the United States from WHO. The order refers to WHO's alleged mishandling of the COVID-19 pandemic and other global health crises. Last week marked 5 years since I declared a public health emergency of international concern. From the moment we picked up the first signals of viral pneumonia in Wuhan, we asked for more information, activated our emergency incident management system, alerted the world.
In case you guys don't know, this is Ted, whatever his name is. He's the head of the WHO, and he's upset because Trump said no more money for you. No more money. We're closed. And now they're going to have to fold probably because they can't sustain themselves.
Convene global experts and publish comprehensive guidance for countries on how to protect their populations and health systems, all before the first death from this new disease was reported in China on the 11th of January 2020. Even before the US announcement, WHO is facing a shortfall due to the economic difficulties that many countries are facing. The US announcement has made the situation more acute.
It is energizing to see the...
I got something for you.
To the Fanfare News feed.
All right, we got some breaking news. Kind of breaking news that you're going to have to hug a liberal. You're going to have to reach out and give somebody a hug. Here we go. Zelensky's motorcade has been spotted near Joint Base Andrews. Footage shows a motorcade moving near Joint Base Andrews after Zelensky landed in Washington, D.C. His visit comes as the Biden administration pushes for more Ukraine aid amid growing skepticism in Congress. Mario, oh yeah, it's right now. Okay, I don't know why he put Biden administration. With U.S. funding under scrutiny, all eyes are on what Zelensky's next move will be. And here it is here. Breaking: Zelensky lands in Washington. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has just touched down at Joint Base Andrews near Washington, D.C. He wants more military aid, and he's supposed to actually sign the agreement tomorrow. That's huge. That is huge. Huge breaking news. Huge. Hug a liberal. They're going to be really upset. All right, let's continue.
Progress that's already been made in, just over a month of the Trump administration, this go around. And so whether it's the impact that Elon and his Doge team are making and a lot of the support that they're providing to us around the table and the actions that are being taken immediately to implement the president's policies, I think around the board, again, people are just absolutely energized.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. Sitting out here on the steps of the Capitol this morning, and I was thinking about some stuff that's going on. They're putting out that, Republicans are cutting Medicare, and Republicans are cutting Medicaid, and all they're doing is trying to scare y'all. They got these Soros-backed groups that are pushing this stuff out. You got some paid agitators, of course, that are putting this word out in the news all over state, local news, and the federal, of course, the national news, not federal news. But anyway, it's just a lie. It is just a lie. All we're trying to do is cut out the waste, fraud, and abuse, and that will free up what I believe more dollars for the folks that need it. And the people that are behind the misinformation obviously have got a dog in this fight, and the dog is they're getting rich off of it. They're getting rich off the money that should be going to folks that are in need, and they are fighting it. Case in point, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was accused of cutting program in half one time, and all he was trying to do was reduce the delivery system. It cost some places $2 to deliver $1. And so in one instance, he cut $1 out of a program. It cost $1 to get $1 to somebody. So he changed the delivery system. Oh, he cut the program in half, and nothing further from the truth. Just cut the bureaucracy. And that's why they're pitching a fit, because that is their machine. That is their control over you. So don't believe the hype. We're not cutting Medicaid, Medicare. Nothing's further from the truth. Nobody is talking about that in the meeting except for in our meetings. And the only people talking about are the Democrats on the House floor, and they're talking, and they're puppets they've got out that are spreading misinformation to the general public. So anyway, thank y'all for sending me here.
President Trump.
All right, so that's what you have to begin. Make sure you know this. I can't even show you enough video. I think there's probably two little clips here in a row where they're talking about the Democrats are lying. I interviewed Representative Tiffany. I interviewed Representative Dunn. We've had Tim Burchett on the show before. They're lying. And it has affected some of you. There have been people here who have asked me over and over, are we going to lose Medicare? Are we going to lose Social Security? No. It's a lie. It's a lie to do what it's doing to scare you. You're not going to lose your Social Security. You're not going to lose your Medicaid. In fact, it was interesting that people began posting, yeah, I got my check. It was actually early. Yes, you don't have to worry. It is all, there's nothing going on but a disinformation, gaslighting campaign by the media. And it's been effective to a certain extent.
It's clear that he wants Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security to be safe for all people who deserve it. Now, if there's fraud anywhere in government, of course we're going to look at it. But he 100% is behind keeping all those programs safe for the people who need those programs.
Are you a new House bill that could expand food stamp requirements, meaning that if you're going to get food stamps in this country or SNAP, and you're able-bodied and childless, and you're 18 to 65, you have to work at least 20 hours a week. Why isn't this the law?
Right. It should be the law. You know what? We have a message for those kind of folks. If you're able-bodied and you want to, milk the taxpayer, those days are over. Get off the couch. Stop eating the Cheetos. Stop buying the medical marijuana and watching television. You're going to actually contribute now because the American taxpayer is fed up. And as Elon Musk mentioned in that segment prior, we can't fund the federal government anymore with these kind of deficits. When we're spending more on our interest payments, almost $1 trillion than we are on our military, that should be a wake-up call that if we don't change course, we're going to lose this great republic of ours.
And more.
All right, I want to show you guys something. I don't know who's putting all this stuff together, but Jack posted something. It was from before. I mean, so it's not a lot new. But if you haven't seen it, it's a good site for you to go to. Again, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the people who were digging before have seen it. You may be new. So when people say, like this guy here, we've had this information for 4 years ago, there's nothing new here, respectfully, don't fall for this gimmick. Hold on. What people like that don't realize is Twitter's different. There are so many different new people on this site right at this point and on YouTube who have no idea all this stuff was out there. So it's a way to share because people are like, so what exactly happened? What was going on? This is how you educate people. You don't get mad because I've seen it. I know you've seen it. We all know many of you've seen it. Have other people seen it? I bet you there's a good portion of you here who haven't seen it. This page right here is called Epstein File Search. And what you don't see is, let me go to the big screen because the big screen you can see everything. One of the things on here, okay, let me go, how can I do this here? 1 second. Okay. All right, let me try this one. If I go here, you can see one of the things that I want you to be able to look at. If you haven't been there before, go to EpsteinSearch.com. And over here is a menu bar. In this menu bar, you can go down here and you see the 2006 grand jury transcripts, 2007 non-prosecution agreement, Virginia Jeffrey deposition, the Ghislaine Maxwell deposition, 2019 federal indictment, the DOJ plea deal, the flight log, the black book. All you got to do is just click on this stuff, and what you're seeing, and the reason why I'm pretty sure Jack posted this, because he was trying to show people everything that has come out thus far. Many of us have seen this already. But if you have not seen it, then this is some way you can educate yourself and see what happened. And it goes the flight logs, the black book, suicide report, all of it's here. Because as more and more stuff drops, you're going to see less and less people go, oh, I've never seen that before. But right now, what Pam Bondi is doing is trying to educate people and to, as I said, let certain people know something's coming. So I'm pretty sure the reason why Jack even posted that was because of the fact of, hey, go look it up. Go see for yourself the different things that are happening and what was posted, years ago. Let's see here. Everyone forgot about that one too. The Wiener laptop. Yeah, exactly. See, James, yeah, it's old news for you. How can I say this? When Elon bought X, or actually he bought Twitter, changed it to X, but when he bought Twitter, he bought that in April of 2022. A lot of people were banished in 2021 and 2020 talking about this guy. Hey, did you see this indictment? Boof, and they were gone. And as I showed you earlier this morning, there's a whole different demographic that have jumped on X. And these are people, in fact, people in our group, which I'll show you, who've never seen this information. So don't be so quick to say, it's old news. Not for everybody. Not for everybody. There's a whole lot of new people who haven't seen this stuff. So just understand. Oh my dear Lord, I told you, Pamela, don't do it at night. Take my word for it. I wasn't trying to be dramatic. I was telling you, don't look it up at night. It ain't going away, and you may end up crying. Go ahead and pray right now, Pamela. Pray. Say, Lord, get this out of my head for tonight. Or not really get it out of my head. Allow me to rest easy having seen this, because I want you to remember what you saw. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, this is. They're not showing the full hand until the trap has been triggered. Trust Pam. She's traumatized over these tapes too. Yeah, absolutely. It's bad. It's really bad. You'll see some more. Well, let's do some fun before I close. Let's go ahead and give away some hoodies and try to get this out of your head, because I know we talked about some deep, dark stuff tonight, and it's 9:30. I want you to go to bed without feeling like this stuff is weighing heavy on you, because it's bad. It's bad. Let me read this, and I'll give away some hoodies. This is for the what is this? Okay. For the parents out there, I'm sure this is new. For the parents out there, I'm sure by now you're familiar with the Kids Guide co-funded by Mike Huckabee. Well, the Kids Guide wants to know whether or not you approve of Doge. Please take a minute and head over to dogechoice.com. This is new. Head there right now to cast your vote to see how more than 15,000 other parents who have already voted feel about Doge. Remember to vote at dogechoice.com. Whether you choose yes or no in the Kids Guide Doge poll, when you visit dogechoice.com, you'll be thanked with a free gift bundle featuring 2 kids guides. Oh, you need to start clicking. I mean, just by taking the poll, they're going to give you 2 free kids guides. You don't even have to ask for any shipping or anything. You'll get the you'll be thanked with a free gift bundle featuring 2 kids guides. You'll get the Kids Guide to President Trump and the Kids Guide to Elon Musk, both for free, so your kids can learn how they're using Doge to slash government waste. Remember, visit dogechoice.com to cast your vote, and you'll get a free gift bundle for your kids. That's awesome. They changed it up on me. I saw that it was Kids Guide, and as you know, I've talked about the Kids Guide, but this is the Doge Choice. Go ahead and do the poll, do the thing, and you'll get a couple free gifts from Kids Guide. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. I got surprised by that one. All right, so let me go ahead and get ready for the hoodies, because that's what you guys are probably waiting for. We're going to give some hoodies. Well, that was pretty neat. I love when I see new things like that, because it really tells me that these people appreciate you, and they appreciate the people who in our little community here and what they're doing. So let's go and take a look and see who wins. Oh, wait a minute. I got to play the drum roll. Where's the drum roll? Okay, drum roll, please. Ooh. And randomly pick a winner. Thomas Carr Prim. Thomas Carr Prim, you have won a hoodie. Thomas Carr Prim, you have won a hoodie. Let's go ahead and do the next one with the new drum roll. Robert Bonus, or Robert Banus. Either way, Robert Bonus, you have won a hoodie. And we got one more, and let's see what we got here. Drum roll. Wow, this is the first night, I think, Rick Schleich, this is the first night when there's been 3 guys who have won. Usually the ladies have been winning. Awesome. 3 guys. Congratulations. Congratulations for that. All right. Here we go. Let's go ahead and let me look at Super Chats. Oh, by the way, hey, if you'd like to join 15,000 plus fellow patriots on X in our private X/Twitter group, go to fanfareshop.org/group. Just put in that URL in your browser. It'll take you right to our private group on X. Love to see you there. Let's share some content. And if you'd like to win a hoodie, or rather if you'd like to enter to win a hoodie, go to fanfareshop.org, fanfareshop.org, and register to win a Trump hoodie.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
All right, the one thing I want to tell you guys about joining that group, which we're up to about 15,600 people, is that it may take a while, a couple hours. If it's late at night, it may take till the next morning till you get approved, because the moderators check, I check, and we click approve. But just be patient. It's the approval is most assuredly coming. All right, so let's look at some super chats. Thank you all for everything you guys do. Thomas William, pictures are evidence. Can't show them. Wait a minute. I was at the bottom. Hold on. Let me go back to the top because I was at the bottom for some reason. All right. Hold on. SV is... what's he saying? SV is texting me. Folks are asking what? Turn off slow mode. Yes, I will turn off the slow mode before we get to the after party. Absolutely. All right, Party Dog, this is a no trolls bar. Yeah, really. Peaceful Haven Studios and Media, how Granny sees it. Hello. From last video an hour ago, it took the J6 for me to realize and wake up I had the same reaction as Robin. It's scary, but God, I read the end of the book. We win. Yeah, very scary. Todd Doyle, Trump's depending on the military being 75% loyal. I hope it's a lot more than that. You're saying 25% of the military is going to be subversive? Talis Finney, Hallaberry, my homegirl, and her two girlfriends went there. They were approached by Ghislaine first and then went to talk to the parents and had to sign papers, and the parents got money and her and her friends got 15 grand each. Wow. I am Planet Hermit. Civil War, martial law, this is serious smoke. Life as we know it would likely be over. What I said what I said. Y'all need to be ready. Guy calls me drama queen, whatever. Okay. I know one thing. I'm going to eat. So if you think I'm being dramatic, my wife she's a prepper extraordinaire, and we're good. Not in the fact that we're in Florida and you can always go fishing, and there's a mango tree out back and an avocado tree out back, so I'm not worried about the guacamole. I don't eat guacamole. But if she wants it, you just pick it off the doggone tree. It's right there. I always thought that. And I'm like, how can you literally be homeless and hungry in Florida? I mean, there's a big old ocean. There's all kinds of tributaries and intracoastal for you to dip a stick in and get a fish. So you get a stick and a worm, more than likely you're going to eat. Maybe, if the right place. Mama Tracy, I believe all of it. Sloan Bella has been talking about it for years. It's worse than you can even imagine. Jeremiah Kerr, I'm not going to be nice. America, open your eyes. Your fantasy world is over. This is the red pill. Swallow it. Thank you, Jeremiah. I was trying to be nice. Eaters of Dead. These media personalities were used by Bondi. I will never trust her the same, and that is a shame. What media personality? You talking about like social media people? I don't know. Give her a break. Let's see what happens. Jeremiah Kerr again. American Justice says that we get this info. Politics says bury the headline. Welcome to your new job. Mel Porter, I guess people forget about the 300,000 kids that are missing. Save the doggos. The files, they didn't need to do this if they didn't have the goods. There are other fish to fry. Schiff, yep, Letitia, Mershan, Comey, absolutely. Notice yesterday she said that she didn't want to talk about whether or not there was an investigation open about Comey, but at the same time, we've heard it all over that there is one, so I don't know. Ernest Spencer, Jesus said there are those with eyes to see who see nothing and those who are blind that see everything. Thornton Maloney, the marketing of this was just awful. How about just don't release anything until you actually have something worth releasing? Bad delivery, bad reception. I agree. I concur. Maybe she had to do it this way. GG9, Comey's daughter. Yep, SDNY, FBI controls files. Well, I hope they don't try to do it again. And so here's everything. Bondi is building criminal cases, think evidence. I can only hope, God, that she perp walks some people. Trumpinator, please don't ban people for disagreeing with comments from others. No, I don't. And I don't think anyone bans people from disagreeing. But if you're rude or offensive to people, you might have to get the boot. Aurora Ventures, Eco Loves You posted a story today about the Epstein situation. Yeah, we're gonna have to cover that tomorrow. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. Cat Rambald, Trump is known for sharing disinfo. Who shared what? What? He didn't share anything. Dwight Perkins, Q talked about, oops, I said the word, about SDNY, Seth Rich hiding evidence, same department. Yep, something smells like a Trump trap. POTUS and Kash, do not forget. It is a Trump trap, I believe. Yeah, I don't think Trump's stupid. I don't think Kash Patel's stupid. Interesting. I wonder if Dan Bongino, he can't say anything either now. Chris Cooper, has anyone wondered why Kash and RFK hearing took too long? I think they wanted to destroy the Jeffrey files. Maybe. But then again, maybe that whistleblower up there has already downloaded them all. Who knows? Let's see. Sherry Clem, after Americans finally see the truth and accountability, we'll have to learn to leave it all in the rearview mirror. Onward, MAGA, America, always first. Yeah, leave it in the rearview mirror, but we got to make sure it never happens again. Mr. Anderson, L. Loomer went absolutely crazy bad-mouthing. Oh, Laura? Laura Lumber. Laura Loomer went absolutely crazy bad-mouthing Pam. You know why? There's a big audience for that kind of stuff. You know, Pam Bondi's been in office a little over, 3 or 4 weeks. And again, maybe I'm jaded, but I've seen her work down here for years. And so those who don't know her, and I think Laura is from Florida, so I'm not sure why she'd be going after her. Keith Lester, all things will come to, unless she was told to. All things will come to light in God's time, and all evil will be paid back sevenfold. Thank you, Barry Mods, for everything. Thank you. John Pryor, Gitmo is going to be full. Make a note on that. Hold on. Despina, Angelus. The word law taken out because libs make fake laws, only loyal to Constitution, the ultimate law of God. This is stronger. Okay. Thornton Maloney, why is Trump's name on there? Why is Trump's name on there? Oh, yeah, you're going to hear that over and over and over. Papa John, God wants his evil exposed. He saves President Trump for this. Agreed. Hello, CR. Thank you. Jeremiah K. Want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Chris Loomis, Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin. Can't say that other word because they hate you saying it. Andromeda. Gene Hackman lives 40 miles from the ranch. Wasn't that a weird story? I mean, I posted about it as soon as it came out when they said, oh, there's no sign of foul play. You mean except for the 2 dead bodies and the dead dog? Was it carbon monoxide? Because if it wasn't carbon monoxide or some sort of gas, I think you got evidence of a foul play. Robert Petruska, you must look. I watched Ben Shapiro's show on October 7th. That was different level than news. Man, I saw some videos about October 7th that I think I still have one on my computer, and it's just amazing. D-Lad, CIA and FBI agents are threatening to sell secrets. Remember what happened to Snowden? The real question is, why aren't these agents hiding in Russia? Mel Porter, Lear captured is great. Thank Barry. Lear captured? I don't know. Fazul, stay calm, stay strong. Trump will prevail. Best news. Pam B will make an arrest soon. John, I believe you are correct. Jose Bazil, how are you? Barry, think about it. God only knows what information is there and who can implicate. Never mind a colonoscopy. We are in tunnel boring at this point. Yvonne Berger, ordered my Trump knife. You go, girl. Jose, hey, Barry, I sent you an email with the Doge parody. Yes, I see that. Yes, thank you. Renee Anderson, the drop is going to be good soon. Buckle up. Jose again, I think Trump made a big mistake by announcing the takedown of the deep state. Why was it a bad announcement? He wanted them to know. He wanted them to know he was coming. And he wanted us to know. Steven Sturgill, what will happen if Trump's name is on the list of... It's there. I'm just telling you. I'll tell you now. It's there. Kayla M's, we only have one chance to get this right. Have patience. We do not want anyone being able to walk away from these crimes. Trust God, trust Trump. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Jeff 26, the Reaper is slowly getting closer, and then one day, there he is. Jose Bazil, we don't need to pray at this point. We need a seance. Bazil, strategy, trust the process, boss is on it. I can't even imagine what's going on right now. Just think to yourself, somewhere in some room somewhere, Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and some other lieutenants are sitting there plotting something. Something's going to break tomorrow. Cajun, if not tonight. Cajun Scully, Epstein said Obama and Joe booked a single room together. John Pryor, Rumble needs to play on my TV. They don't lie to play on TV like YouTube? Yeah, they got to kick into that. What was the website address again that shows the PDFs? Joey, that's the actual Department of Justice. If you go to my profile on X, I think it's the last tweet. I think it's posted right there to get to the Attorney General's website. Police 45, if you saw something, you're guilty by association. If you didn't say anything, absolutely. Hello, Neo. Very much prayer is needed for these dark days. Agreed. Mama Mima, Robert Gouvet would be a fun interview. Yeah, he's an attorney, obviously. That would be pretty cool. Can you wish my daughter Tanya a happy 28th birthday? Tanya, happy birthday. And just to let you know, your mom is often... What happened here? What just happened? Hold on. What just happened? Everything kind of just went crazy on me. Am I still live? Wow, that was weird. I don't know what just happened. Let me see if I can refresh. Somebody pull the plug on me. Hold on. That was weird. ASV, am I still live? Because I can't seem to... Okay, here's what happened, I think. Hold on. I think my monitor just crashed. And let me just go back here to get to this. I think my monitor just went poof. Not my monitor, my window. Yeah, okay, so we're good. All right, so yeah, happy birthday, Tanya, or Tania, however you pronounce it. Happy birthday. Yeah, I'm still live. So I don't know what happened. Just had a glitch, a crazy glitch. In the never know these days though, do you? Because we don't know. I think let me just rewind to the top. I don't want to forget anybody, and I was almost to the bottom. Hold on here. Let's see. Okay, I got a couple more. Okay, pictures. Hold on. Okay. Happy birthday to Tanya. Yes, shut it down and confiscate everything. Yeah, I'm good with that. Rebecca Marie. Let me see if I can do it again or just show it. Hold on. I just want to make sure people can see it. 1 second. Okay. All right, here we go. I got to the end here. That was very weird. That was very, very weird. Ghost in the Machine. All right, so shut it down, confiscate everything. Rebecca Marie, want to thank you, your family, and mods for all that you do for us. Thank you. Thomas Williams, pictures or evidence can't show. Why not reinstate General Flynn? Well, we'll ask him. He'll be here next Tuesday, so that'll be a question I'll ask him. Yeah. I am Planet Hermit. Give it to God. He's got this. Agreed. Reyes, play comedy clips at the end of the show to help clear up minds of the film. I don't have any ready. What do I have in here? Oh, I got something I can play before I go to the after party. Okay, yeah, I'll clear your mind. Remember to keep praying when going down the rabbit hole, and in the end, let go and let God. MAGA forever. Ken Hollis, thank you. Steve Hale, God bless you, Barry. Thank you for how you keep us informed. Thank you for watching. Linda Friesen for New Zealand, thank you. Crafty Shamrock Designs, love your show, thank you. Is there an email? Yes, the mods can hit you up with it. It's show mail, like it sounds, show mail, not mail, the guy, mail, like mail, M-A-I-L, at fanfareshop.org. Super Russ, and I bet it's for the public show how FBI had the list. And Donna, Pam, and Kash literally just walked in the door. People aren't giving them time to do what they need to do with this mess they walked into. Yep, I trust them completely. All right, so somebody asked, play something upbeat. And what I'll do is I'll play this, and then I'll go into the after show. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great evening. Watch the news. There's going to be some stuff happening. And let's take your mind off of things.
Everybody they know, they gonna vote for Donald Trump, that's the way it goes. All over America, all over the USA, they voted for Donald Trump, that's what I'm trying to say. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. I want to make America great again. Woo! I want to lower the taxes. I want to bring all American business back from overseas back to the USA, baby.
There we go.
Ooh, yeah. Donald Trump is now president of your country. Election is over. Everybody can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over. Everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country.
Trump.